Welcome back, Warriors, to another Battlefield 2042 video. I'm your commanding officer, Major Doodleman149, and in today's briefing, I'll be going over everything that the brass needs to reintroduce to this conflict that would greatly improve our time in the field. These things aren't anything major, so there wouldn't be any severe logistical challenges to this, meaning that DICE could realistically implement these in the near future. If any of you watch anything official from the DICE page, please pass this briefing along to them. So, without further delay, let's see how we can improve this deployment. First things first, exceptional soldiers need to be recognized for their service. The easiest way to do this is to implement an extension in our HUDs to show how many confirmed kills we have in a given engagement. A scoreboard of sorts. This would help the individual soldiers see how they compare to both allies and enemies in the field and would give some solid, definitive feedback on their performance in combat. Given operations of the past have had this, implementing this into our 2042 conflict shouldn't be any mean feat. In addition to knowing how you compare to your fellow soldiers, it would also be helpful to have soldiers be able to precisely and accurately choose the squads they are deployed with. In case you hadn't seen the first-hand footage of a frontline soldier on Discarded, please check the link I've provided at the top right of your HUD and below in the description of this briefing. This footage shows how the squad system in HQ is set up for us in this conflict is inferior and largely ineffective. Bringing back the squad system from operations past, notably Battlefield 4 and 1, we'd be able to more easily switch between squads if our current one is largely ineffective. I now present you all with a question. How often has a squad mate managed to get behind the wheel of an LATV-4 only to drive to where the rest of the squad is being deployed via Osprey just to pick them up? Wouldn't it be easier if an entire squad could load into a vehicle prior to deployment to get them into the field faster? I certainly think it would. In fact, any vehicle should function as an insertion point for a squad mate. DICE has done it before, so why remove it now? While it may seem odd for soldiers to choose the fields they deploy in, given this conflict has a less rigid military structure, why is it we cannot choose our conflicts personally? We simply choose to deploy, and whatever area is currently engaged by enemies is where we deploy. Conflicts of the past would let you choose your engagements based on areas of operation, number of combatants, and objectives. Bringing back this server browser would go a long way to heal some of the wounds DICE has inflicted on its frontline soldiers. Our HUDs are supposed to be state-of-the-art, correct? Well, soldier, it seems HQ has skimped out in this department since there are a number of graphical and interface issues that some people, in particular Corporal Freaky Haircut, are experiencing. He has the Xbox Series X rig, while my suit is just the Xbox One X. On his end, he's had a number of times where his HUD displays broken visuals of soldiers and uniforms that he's unlocked, leading to janky, one-polygon messes that are painful to the eyes. On top of that, there are logistical issues where he gets his loadout set up with the armory, only for something to get mixed up between there and the field. Most of the time, his loadouts are missing from his available gear, and he has to quickly make a new requisition of gear before we land in the Osprey. If any soldier is to deploy rapidly and effectively, the loadout requisitions from base need to make it into the field. This is entirely unacceptable, even while I have never personally experienced this. Lastly, something that every soldier could certainly benefit from would be a test range. Battlefield 4 had this option available that set you on an island void of hostiles with a number of target dummies to practice on with a variety of weapons. It also allowed for the use of vehicles. This allowed soldiers to get acquainted with the weapons of war they'd be wielding as well as the vehicles they could ride into battle. This feature wasn't available in World War I, but it is certainly something that can and should be introduced to the battlefields of the future. So that is all, Warriors. I presented my case, and I implore you all to share these ideas with the larger Battlefield community to get the word out to DICE. I am aware that my ideas aren't exactly revolutionary or unique, but someone needs to get this info to HQ if we were to exact any sort of change out in the field. So what'd you all think of these suggestions? Are they any good? Do you have anything better? Permission to speak freely is granted. If your CO did an adequate job today with this briefing, be sure to leave him a like and subscription to show command that he is worthy of more viewership from potential recruits. And with that, I've been your CO, Major Doodleman149, and until our next briefing, you are all dismissed!